Okay, so we're here with a very special guest, Jay Udeh. So Jay has been working with us for the last month or two. He's been implementing our system very religiously. He's been exceeding our expectations and just succeeding as well. So Jay, why don't you tell us a bit about you? What do you do?
Yeah, my name's Jay Udeh. I'm based in London. I'm a former high school teacher, but now I help coaches to enroll clients visually using a Zoom whiteboard to enroll clients.
Yeah, beautiful. And how did you find us?
I've been following you for a few months. And, obviously I think we connected in the previous mastermind about a year ago.
Yeah.
And, obviously since that mastermind, you've come along leaps and bounds. And so, naturally we just connected. And then, what I loved about the potential of working with you was implementation. Too much is down to Kajabi videos and things like this, but there's nothing like implementation to get things going, get systems actually installed for you. And you've created a comprehensive way of doing that, which is great.
Yeah, nice. And I just wanted to bounce off what you just said and just dig a bit deeper, I think, because you've had experiences with different fulfillment models, investing in your business, you're very successful, you have a great product. And I just wanted to ask, what has been your experience with other acquisition methods that potentially maybe haven't worked as you would liked in the past? Because I've had those experiences many times and a lot of our viewers have as well. So if you'd like to expand.
Yeah, I think it comes down to two things. It's either you're obsessed with client success or you're average. There's no in between. And I think my previous experiences sometimes would be potentially you have to maybe fend for yourself a little bit, or you might get a VA and it's maybe a little bit shaky, you're not quite sure of what to do. But this is almost like the Uber of systems, where you get someone in, there's a systems administrator, EJ, who's doing such a great job. And I think it's when you have that absolute obsession with making your experience amazing for the client, then you can almost create something that allows them to really just trust and put trust in the process, that the process will work if you follow the system. And so that's it's been, a great system to follow, to kind of get someone coming in and working from day one, ready and loaded to go and to, go into the market and be a team member for you.
Yeah, beautiful. Really good points. And it brings me on to a question that I wanted to ask, which is, what kind of success have you achieved with us so far? Yeah,
so in the last 2 weeks, I've closed 14K in terms of deals. I think the important part, is a process goal. And it's the sort of process of actually digging into actually having someone working for you 8 hours a day. So my assistant, she just sent me an end of day report right now, and we took a quick video, and she said, Jay, the 2 videos you've sent me today, they've made my day. The 2 videos. And it's almost as though something like that is a great product of the program, where someone's able to come in and be a part of your team. And I was in a conference all day, I was in a conference all day today, but my VA was still doing outreach, and we've got maybe 10 registered for a masterclass that we're going to be doing next Wednesday, actually, while I'm in a seminar in the central of London. So that's a great sort of kind of, doesn't get better than that, right? Having that sort of leverage. And then you're beginning to think like a CEO, and that's what your program is about, CEO. And I think what's been great about things is there's ways of doing things. But I'm like, hey, Ben, how about we adapt this or change this? Or I like to use visuals in the DMs, and you're very quick to say, look, if that's been working for you, Jay, why would you necessarily change it? Adapt it to your market, take some risks, try some different things. And I think that's part of the power as well, right? It's not about copying your strategy. It's about copying the identity of a CEO. And when you have the right identity, then you understand that there's nuances between different markets, and you have to kind of have your stamp, because you don't want someone getting a message thinking, I've seen this message like 10 times today. Do you need an appointment set up? That type of thing, right? Or, hey, I see that you are a high ticket coach. Yeah, that type of chestnut. But it's like, I think when you step into your individuality, I think that's when the market begins to accept you more. You know, like branding myself up, like wearing pink and branding myself and doing masterclasses. And I think that's what your program helps people to do, is like step into your joy, step into your magic, you know, step into whatever your unique advantage is, lean in, give it, move it, shake it, because that's what's going to ultimately lead to people sort of kind of saying, no, this is different. Like, I need a part of this.
Yeah, that's really something that you possess, is that with your offer. So I wanted to just like touch on what you mentioned before, which was the outreach specialist. They're generating registrations in your masterclass while you're in an event. And I was going to come with you to that. I would have loved to, maybe next time I'm back in London. But I wanted to like ask, what do they do for you, this person that we have placed? So specifically, what are the kind of actions like, and how does it work? What do they get for you?
Yeah, so in terms of my assistant, she will collect leads for me. She is actually in my inbox as well, so kind of work in my inbox. She also does outreach from her inbox as well. And so I think what's great is there's no task too big for her to do. And I think the whole element, she's been very well trained. And so she knows how to do data entry, Excel, post my content, keep my Facebook group managed. So it's really a plethora of different things that she's able to do. But that's because the level of training that she gets, there's no stone unturned in terms of that. So kudos to yourself and Julie there and the rest of the team who are making that happen. And so I think when we have that essence of training and really making sure that my assistant is well trained and well versed, and there's conversations happening in our Discord channel all the time, conversation, how can we make things better, and all of these sorts of things. And also, we're not afraid to fail, quote unquote fail, right? Like, we're not afraid to get feedback, should I say. Like, we might try a campaign where we do some outreach and think, okay, look at the results, how were those? And then I've got maybe 600 leads. So maybe some results might be better if we do outreach to people towards the bottom of the funnel rather than just the top of the funnel. Top of the funnel is good because those people can come into the masterclass and be pushed towards the bottom of the funnel. But there's some people in the bottom of the funnel that could be 50K to 100K of income, bottom of the funnel. We can't let those leads turn to cyber dust. And so it's almost as though, okay, let's try and work what we have, because we have to believe in our product. And if we believe in our product, then we're going to follow up.
That's it. Beautifully said. And I really want to ask your funnel, because we set up funnels for our clients and you came in with something that was semi-working already, like that wasn't consistent, but it's like getting income. $14,000 is not a small amount in a couple of weeks, right? So how is your funnel set up, just from like the attention that comes in? Where do they come from? I know a lot of people that watch our stuff really want a funnel that's simple, easy to use. Could you just elaborate on that a bit?
Yeah, so in terms of the funnel, how it's worked very well is it's a Facebook group funnel. And so leads hop into the Facebook group and then they're added to my email list. And so I've got those leads coming in. And so that's working pretty much on autopilot. But also it's looking at where are the people who are actually raising their hand right now and ready to do business. So these people are posting in groups And so I have my assistant look in groups and collect leads who are looking for some, looking to grow their coaching business. Paid groups, also a great source of leads. And so it's almost as though Mark Zuckerberg can maybe tweak the algorithm so our content doesn't really get seen. Mark Zuckerberg cannot switch the algorithm of the DMs. 90% of people are going to see the DMs. And so we cannot underestimate that as a tool to use. So we use both, right? We use content, we use emails, we use DMs. So it's a multi-pillar of attack, if I should say so. So yeah.
And would you say that DMing, because I know a lot of people that watch our content are within the 1K to 20K to 30K per month mark. They're a bit inconsistent with their income. And usually I've noticed this comes from being inconsistent with outreach and inconsistent with DMs. Are DMs something you think are important, and why is that, if so?
Bang! Attention. Did I have your attention right there?
Absolutely.
We have to get attention. And so it would be a shame if we can't. I mean, some people say, hey, I never use DMs and DMs are bad. But those same people have appointment setters. They're teaching content, hey, post, but they've got 100 people sending DMs. But they don't say that out of fear of seeming like, hey, they're tapping into the bro marketing type industry. But I think the reality is, if something's effective, if something's going to get me attention, yeah, I could email, but people are busy. Yeah, I could post content, but people are busy. So for me, I'm saying when I'm sending a DM and for my assistant, it's like we are inviting someone to a barbecue. Who doesn't want to go to the barbecue? You know? Get the hot dogs on and fish these days, because I'm a pescatarian these days, by the way. So get some swordfish on there, some cod, you know, a bit of Nando sauce on there, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
But it's almost as though if you frame it like you're inviting your best friend to a barbecue, hey, I've got something here. Yeah. On this workshop, we're going to do this together. Would you like to come to my barbecue? You just reframe it.
My mouth is watering already, man.
Yeah?
Yeah. This is great.
Yeah.
I think it's a really important thing that you're doing it in a way that's value-led, because a lot of the market is too sophisticated. They've had too many hard pitches. They just switch off. They need to see value. It's really great. So they come in, you message them on Facebook groups. They come down and through your masterclass. And then from the masterclass, what happens then?
Then I meet with my assistant. We follow up with everybody. You know, there's a song by Kanye West, you know, no one left behind. Like our saying in our team is no lead left behind. No lead is left behind, because even if someone asks for a replay, they're going to get the replay and they're going to get the follow-up. You know? Okay. So it's just as a way of, the best follow-ups, in my opinion, are value follow-ups. So, hey, I've got this masterclass. And for me, there's no bigger sign of intention than someone raising their hand for a 90-minute or 2-hour experience.
And that's like, that really catches what you said before, those at the bottom of the funnel. Yeah. Because they have had, like, for those that aren't familiar watching, those at bottom of the funnel are the ones that just need the right offer and they will pay. So those guys that have had calls with you, right? Yeah. Those guys that they haven't bought, or they weren't qualified in the past, or maybe they got to be sent a booking link, but they didn't book. These guys, you just offer them a masterclass, and then boom, they just like come onto that.
Like what we found is there's been zero pushback in terms of, why are you DMing me? Because I think people know, hey, look, and I call this $10,000 value. Because it really is $10,000 value. Like if you come on, like the aim is to rock your world and to really sort of push you forward. we've coined something together, me and the team, in terms of the different levels of prospects. And we have the fearful Fionas at the bottom who a bit scarcity mindset, right? Hey, look, all these mentors are doing these bad things and cold DMs. Then we move up to Seven Susies, who they've been trying different low ticket, mid ticket, like trying multiple strategies. Oh, if this isn't working after 5 weeks, let's do something else. That must be the problem. And then after that comes to the highest 2 levels. Then we have Joyful Julie. We could, rename it Joyful Julie Day, potentially, yeah. but joyful in the sense of, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, when you align to what you really love, and that's what you do in your first session, on the onboarding session, you help your clients to align with their highest purpose. Then small things like someone saying no or like temporary defeat don't come into it as much because you've tapped into joy. And I think it's ultimately what we're trying to do in our marketing, tapping into joy. Hey, look, got this. Look, we're in the studio right now, like getting some juicy footage, like tapping into joy because people sense that. And at the top level, I call it limitless Lara. Sometimes there can be the whole scarcity thing. Oh, there's no leads. There's millions of leads. But where's your offer? Oh, there's no engagement. Create the engagement. Send some messages to people. Send some voice notes to people. Create the engagement.
This is really good stuff that we're covering here. So I can understand how your sales funnel actually works. So after you do this amazing follow up and you understand the archetypes of the prospects, then after that you book a call. And do you find that having had someone create the leads in the masterclass, doing the value follow ups on the bottom of the funnel, you get onto these calls, what's your closing ratio like? Because I know the specific data is really useful. So how many percentage of those kind of calls would you be closing?
40%.
That's good.
Yeah, 40%. I think it's ultimately because I know my client avatar so well, it's definitely a case of the only objection could be how to find the money. But also, like what we speak about on the sales calls, and you're very good at this in terms of the sales calls, it's if we really believe in our product, people can find the money. People spend money on holidays. That doesn't help them produce more money necessarily, right? Like, there's not a direct correlation. You might think of a business idea when you're in Tenerife. People spend money on houses. So people will spend money when they see the value. And so I think on your sales trainings, when people object, we don't tense up. We try and understand and we try and see them through the objections, right?
Yeah, beautiful. And I wanted to ask, what were some of your biggest challenges that you had when you came on board working with us that you were looking to solve?
It's a bit, like everyone says this, right? Leads are the lifeblood of the business, but I think that was one of them, like in terms of being able to follow up with leads. And maybe I was doing a lot of things manually. So now I'm having to think like a CEO. So right now I'm thinking, okay, tomorrow, what's the team going to do, But that means that I can be in the last day of the conference tomorrow and outreach is happening. Like more leads are coming into the funnel. And isn't it so amazing that someone could not hear from you for a few weeks or a few months in terms of leads and then they get a message. Yeah, back in the market. So it shows the power of having a CRM and like having leads. And I think that side of it is very powerful because that was a bottleneck, being able to follow up with people. And, you've created a great solution where you have someone who's able to do outreach 8 hours a day, which makes your program a no-brainer, right?
And like also like because we're talking a lot about leads and we talked about bro marketers before, and I think that one thing that's super important for coaches that are watching this are that they need to feel like a relationship has been built if they're going to work with someone. So in terms of like, I know the whole bro marketing approach as a stereotype, the reason why a lot of people don't like it that I've found is that they see it as just a bit cold. It's a bit just numbers based, and it's just about kind of like adrenaline and sales and revenue, right? Which are important things. But how have you found this to be different than a lot of the other kind of, because there are people that place outreach specialists, there are lots of different methods. Why do you think those don't work as well for people as opposed to something like this, which can work in a better way for those relationship based offers?
Great question. I think it comes down to coaching has to happen throughout the whole food chain, in a sense. So it's like the VAs have to be well trained by your team, and in terms of the actual coaches on your program, they have to be coached by yourself, Jay Udeh, and everyone like that. And in terms of our communication with our VAs, we have to do a good job, clear expectations, rather than just getting a random VA from, just some country and then saying, here you go. It's almost as though there's a fault behind a human being. And there's that attention to detail. And also, it's like what I mentioned. There's love in the process. Sometimes there's not that love in the process. There's the numbers and and that's why there's high churn. These appointment setters people might go through 20, 30, 40. But I think you've developed a system where also it works, where you're paying someone in a country where they're getting a good salary for that country, but for the coaches, it's affordable to hire that employee. Whereas if you're hiring someone in the United States for $1,000 a month as an appointment setter, they might get cold feet quite quickly. So I think we're using, and it's a win-win, right? We're creating jobs globally, and we are sort of kind of bringing on a member of staff without necessarily feeling the high pinch and the high pressure immediately.
So you found it to be cost effective. That's one thing that's really good. What I'm summarizing is that, like one of my, like EJ, she actually built a house from 2 weeks' wages. Wow. And it's a very nice house, double story, everything, because the funds go further over there. So I definitely see what you mean on that side of things. So yeah, that's really a good insight. I wanted to also speak to one of the kind of concerns that a lot of people have when they look at delegating outreach, which is, burning the brand and like reaching out to people that, don't see the value. So have you found like running a masterclass model, it's such a valuable thing to lead with? So firstly, do you just say, hey, like join our masterclass if you want to join, you still let me know and I'll send you the link? Do you bring them into the Facebook group first? And have you found that to be something that builds that relationship in a better way than just doing like that cold DMing approach that most setters just use, which is just super scripted?
100%, because you can add your personality to it, and you're leading with a unique mechanism, the whiteboard method, and how the whiteboard method helps heart-based female coaches to sell without the bro marketing with resistance. So I think having that unique angle is ever so helpful. But also, when you embody, hey, look, I believe in my offer, I believe in my vision, I believe in my mission, I'll take a bullet for it, I'm getting this out here. If you block me, so be it. If you report me, so be it. If you say, hey, Jay, don't send me any more messages, so be it. So I think it's an embodiment. Hey, look, I believe in what I have. And of course, as you scale things up, maybe I might build an audience that's coming, building an audience. So I become a bit less reliant on sending people DMs. But I think there's nothing wrong with using the tool. of a DM, right? It's like, it's there, right? So as long as you use it skillfully, but I think it's not the attention that we get. I think it's the intention that we have behind each message that really sums it up, right? So if the intention is, hey, look, numbers game, people will feel that. But if the intention is, I'm here to change your life, people will feel that also.
So so the next thing like that I really wanted to touch on is that, you know, the ROI that you're getting, how much does your outreach specialist cost? And then how much are you getting back? So if you go by the last 2 weeks, it's been one sale on average a week. So 7,000 USD. Yeah. Some of those were paying full. Well done with that. Yeah. That's a testament to that your sales process is super good and your funnel works
both paid in full. Yeah.
Both paid in full. Yeah. That is amazing. And like, how much are you paying your outreach specialist? So I want to look at operation costs so we can crunch some numbers and look at how much the profit margins are on this thing.
Yeah. So in terms of the outreach specialist, they're paid $3 an hour. And so I think that works out in the week to be about $125 a week to work 8 hours a day.
And then, okay, so that's like you're getting about $6,800 profit per week.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's incredible. All right, beautiful. And then I want to talk about the evolution of your sales funnel, like with now that it's converting, what we're focusing on. So really the next steps, I'm pretty sure you're aware of them, are just like making sure that you're getting consistent sales, very important for a business your level. Just like one a week solid with this one outreach specialist, getting this event converting beautifully. You know exactly how to get it converting. And then we just place a setter in there to literally like do the whiteboard method for all the follow-ups of all the masterclass registrations, because then it steps you out of that operational kind of stress, and you can focus more as a CEO, which I think is super important. Is that a lot of people go into the Facebook ads domain, but they may not be actually ready for it, or any ads domain, because you need a budget of somewhere between 4,000 and 10,000 plus per month, and not see a return on investment for a couple of months. So that's a real big reason why I think something that's more low cost, that's more like surgical, like like doing outreach, if it's with an outreach specialist or something else, can get a better ROI like a lot quicker. So yeah, like that's the evolution. And then it's just pouring more fuel on the fire, more outreach specialists. Your current outreach specialist trains them, boom, and then just ramp the setters up, put the recording of the masterclass in an email sequence, and just let it just convert automatically. And that's why I think it's super good what you've got and the direction we're taking, and why it's so good, why it's so scalable. So yeah, what are your thoughts on this as a direction?
Yeah, I mean, I guess my thought is, if the masterclass is working so well, how do we fill up that masterclass? How do we get 50 people on there, 100 people on there? Because it works so well, right? And they say that the quickest way to enroll a client from cold to sold is through a presentation.
And so, yeah, so at the moment, your outreach specialist is just sending the invitation to the masterclass, right?
Yeah, doing that. We work the leads together, like work the pipeline. It's funny, today we decided to maybe focus on some leads who had come into my Facebook group in the past year, rather than the leads on the CRM, because sometimes you might have a situation of those leads coming into your group might not always be in your CRM. Not always. That some leads slip through the cracks and things like this. And yeah, I think it's always good to look at new angles, look at like new sources of leads. And again, it comes down to conviction.
So if you've been getting a sale a week, you probably don't need to do a lot of like retargeting. But over time, what we'll do is we'll just focus on value-driven follow-ups with people that come in the group. That's it. And it's just like making sure everyone's coming in the group. We're getting a lot more traffic through that as a qualification for you. What a lot of people do is they just send DMs and they don't actually qualify the leads. So they're going from having first met you to like booking a call within like 2 days. And so like the amount of education required is like a lot more for someone to actually choose to buy with you, for your sales calls to not be a hassle.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
And they're passing through that, right? So they're getting that education, and they're closing and they're paying in full up front. So yeah, over time it's just about more traffic down the pipeline with the outreach specialists, multiplying them, more people into that event through there. And we could even put like 1 or 2 outreach specialists that just send cold outreach to get people in the masterclass, and another one just does follow-ups, and then another one just does a different kind of approach. But you can get different guys like doing different acquisition methods, and you've just got your setter in the middle and bottom of funnel who's just setting and just like taking triage calls.
Yeah,
that's it. And that's just the simplicity of it. And like this whole thing costs like $2,000 if you've got 4 outreach specialists. They're getting 200 to 400 leads a week.
Yeah,
it works out to be $2,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like super cost effective. And if you multiply what you're currently doing, I think you're getting about 15, 20 leads a week at the moment.
Yeah.
If you add a 0 onto that, add a 0 onto what you're currently earning, which is like 70,000 a week, because it's just multiplying the inputs. So you multiply the outputs of the system that's being operated. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Beautiful. So when you like boil it down like this, it's just like, I love it because it's so easy and it's so predictable. But a big mistake is people like they scale quickly. They just like use heavyweight stuff. A lot of stuff breaks. They just try and apply too much. And what we've done is like, we've done it simply. We've done it like one step at a time. Yeah. And that's why I think that it's worked. You would agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I really wanted to ask you a question. What do you think is like the main, you've mentioned a bit about like outreach specialist masterclass, but what are the 1 or 2 needle movers that we've implemented that you think have like made the biggest difference for you?
I think a clear client roadmap of how to go from offer to building out a system. I think the clarity and the simplicity of things, and I think the confidence of having a member come on board. Actually, I was speaking with a 7-figure coach about this on Tuesday, about the fact that I brought on a VA, and if you buy cheap, you buy twice or thrice. And so it's almost as though get it right the first time round and start small. Because I think a previous mistake I've made is get 2 VAs at the start, right? And it's almost as though that's, cause a bit more pressure. So getting 1 VA at the start to start operations. And I think that process has probably been the smoothest thing, getting that extra team member. Because, you can create email sequences and all of these sorts of things, but there's nothing like having someone who is directly connecting people, connecting with people with images and with ideas. Hey, look, we have this masterclass. We've tried different things. We've tried audits. We've tried masterclasses. But my whole vision is that what if we have, and this is happening, like the VA sending 100 offers a day to people, then you're going to get some sort of traction, right? If you can do those sorts of numbers. And so sometimes it's down to testing and things like this, but inputs, outputs, inputs and outputs, right? Like, the only reason why the big coaches might potentially be able to post and succeed, they've got an audience and reputation and authority.
One thing I learned from one of our past mentors, Serge Guattari, who's done super well. The guy has scaled to 600K per month, we both know, in under 2 years. What he taught me was inputs equals outputs. If there's no inputs, then nothing can come out. And I know for coaches a lot, I used to be a coach, you probably used to be a coach at some stage.
Yeah.
We did a lot of like certification trainings, a lot of trainings around like branding and things that honestly, branding is great, but it doesn't make money. Like, it doesn't make consistent revenue. Like, certification trainings, it doesn't make money. And so investments around client acquisition, you're doing sales trainings. This is something that generates like revenue. Working with you is selling money at a discount. If they spend $7,000 on you and they make $20,000 extra a month, they've paid it off within a month. And a lot of the time, it's like shifting that mindset. Even if they've had like a failed investment in the past, sometimes it stops people. And I think that taking those failed investments, which I've had and I've been burned as well, and taking the learnings to help to get results with the future collaborators is very vital. And I can see that you have done that. Like, you know how to be a partner, like how to be a good collaborator, and that's why you get results. So in terms of this, like, what do you think are some important attributes? We only want to take on win-win clients. You only want to take on win-win clients.
Yeah.
And that's when the intentions and the behaviors are aligned. So what do you think are the right kind of attitudes as well? Like the right attitudes for a client to get results in a high ticket program for their business specifically?
I think number one comes vision. Like, have you really got a vision for this business, or are you going through the motions? And I think when you align why you're doing it, like, why is this business important, maybe externally for serving your people, and I think that's where the spiritual aspect of the program comes about, right? Because you really tap into that. And then looking at the internal reasons, like what's driving you internally, and things like this, like why is this important? And so I think marrying up both of those elements mean that without purpose, it becomes difficult. And I think sometimes on these programs, there's so much Q&A. Hey, there's this strategy and there's that strategy, but unless we have the right mindset behind it, it just doesn't work. To go deeper into it, to have the right energetics about it, like in terms of, are you embodying your offer? Like, if 10 people sign up to our masterclass, are we thankful for those 10, or are we thinking about the 90 that got away? What's the perspective? If someone says, stop messaging me, what's the perspective? And that's what's so great, like in terms of Jay Udeh on the team, who creates great scripts, off-script messages and things like this. Because if someone's hitting you at the level of fear, you can't be at the level of fear as well. You've got to be at the level of joy. You've got to be at that level. It's like, no, I didn't mean to offend you. Actually, there's this, all that.
And like you've probably noticed, a lot of the time those guys actually come around and apologize, say, I'm sorry about before, just on a bad day. And what I learned in NLP in the past was people are not their behaviors. And it's like, it's more about what's happening in their life. And they just really just want someone to take them down from the ledge. Because if you can like love them in like a way that is like accepting them, you know, if you can accept someone when they are not as their best, you're probably one of the only people in their life that has ever done that. And it's what they're most afraid of being rejected for, usually. And if you can do that, I found that they actually will see you as a good person to be their mentor.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
Like a test, unconscious test.
It is an unconscious test. It's like when people say, hey, look, I'll hop on a call, but I'm not going to buy anything.
I love that one.
Yeah. But it's like, look, I haven't even decided whether the offer's good for you or not. Let's hop on, let's explore, and then from there we can take it from there. But this offer might not necessarily be the one for you.
And that's really useful. Hey, real sales guru, everyone watching should definitely hit up this masterclass. How do they find this masterclass? Because I'm sure everyone's really wanting to know.
Yeah, just contact me, Jay Udeh, on Instagram and Facebook. Contact me, and I'm getting my website together as well. Whiteboardforcoaches.com is going to be launching in about a week or so you can catch me on whiteboardforcoaches.com.
Beautiful. And I'll send that link in the description at the bottom so you guys can check it out. I think that a good question I would like to ask is, you know, how is this like, because, you know, we can talk about business all day,
Yeah.
but how is having this system, like delegating this outreach, you mentioned a bit before, it's just so useful to have outreach happening, memberships are coming into your masterclass when you're not even at work. How has it changed how you feel about, you know, life and your business in general?
Yeah, I think it's the identity. So if I catch myself doing $3 an hour work, it's like, I can do that, but is that the best use of my time? You know? And so it's just making me feel like an operator. It's like sometimes I get my assistant to work over the weekends. Okay, I pay you a bit extra. Double pay on the weekends, could you? You know, and it's just having that feeling of, okay, you know, leverage.
That's really, really amazing. We've used our outreach specialists, so just so you know, it's good for you and everyone watching that uses VAs and stuff like that. If you get the right person, they can become an all-star. So our outreach specialist is now a systems integrator that leads all, like a team of 30 outreach specialists for our clients, EJ, right? And so it's just having them trained and vetted. It's just like you have the right person there that can just become great. So
yeah. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, in terms of getting the whole system of VAs together and the systems integrator, is that difficult? Is that a laborious job on your side?
So it's a journey, right? So when you first have your first team member, I always have seen it as building the neurology of being a team leader. And what that means is not going and taking the task off them and doing it. You gotta just have patience, and you gotta just support them and empower them. And it forces you to see your business as a set of systems. And by doing that, you get out of the emotions of it. Only when you can be as the true CEO, like you're talking about, only when you see your business as a set of systems, do you realize how much it drained you of your life force before that point. Your business shouldn't be a cash guzzling, emotional, draining monster. It should be something that gives you vibrancy. It should give you life. It should give you resources. And when you see it as a resource generator, it's something that changes the game. It changed the game for me a lot, because then wherever in my business I get drained, it's obvious that there are not systems set up there, because it's on the same emotional frequency patterns of something that is just chaotic.
Okay.
Because there's no systems, no logic. So setting up the systems integrator, like setting EJ up as that, it was very easy, because we have someone that set up a big amount of systems in our business. Okay. Her name's Katie Barney. Definitely hit her up and anyone watching this. Katie Barney has a great systems program. It's difficult to find a really good one. We went through a lot of not so good ones, but what we did was we took a $26,000 implementation that she did in our business. Okay. And I just got her to train EJ.
Oh wow. Okay.
So the thing is, right, like you want to outsource training as much as possible. Yeah. And anything that's valuable for your business, just bring it in-house, create a small team, and just build it as a back-end offer for your clients. Yeah. So we just sell it as a back-end offer, or we teach our clients VA how to also be a systems integrator. Okay. Whatever's valuable for the client, it should be embedded in the offer. Amazing. As long as it drives the result. Yeah. So yeah, that's in response to your question, that's really what it's been about. But it's been amazing to just like see someone grow, to let myself just come out so I can have time to do this kind of stuff. This stuff becomes, creating content is the ultimate once outreach is delegated. But sometimes people get it backwards, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So it's also like, get attention on the content, convert, making that content amazing, invest in that content. Now, one thing also I wanted to say is that you can't invest if you charge small ticket. Mm-hmm. You're doing 7K deals once a week. If you probably be aware that if you did 3K deals, you could like get 7K from that. Like people that pay 3 would pay 7.
Yeah, for sure.
2 would pay 8.
100%.
It's like as soon as you're in the 4 figures, like you can go up to the 5 figures. Yeah. It's just a payment plan. Yeah. So what difference do you think, because I really know that a lot of people that view this are considering increasing their prices. What do you think? Do you think it's like, worth it, and what did you have to overcome and like in a mindset way to get to this level of pricing, because very few people are really there in the industry, but everyone I think needs to get there. So what kind of mindset blocks did you go up against?
Initially is, can I get the results? Like, I'm not sure if it's possible, like that, those sorts of things come into your mind. But I guess it forces you to up level in terms of delivery. And so what I find is that when the systems are set up for my clients to start selling, they're set up. So things are set up. So I think it's that element of having things set up for my clients that enable you to say, hey, look, I'm actually giving you the ability to sell for between 3K and 12K for the rest of your life. Of course, the whiteboard method is gonna evolve. Everything evolves, right? But I've been selling the whiteboard for 3 years now, so it's based on principles. Principles never die.
How did you streamline your offer like that? Because like a lot of people, they have like offers that are not well crafted yet. So they have all the emotions of not being confident in selling, interactions, things like that. How did you craft your offer into being such a streamlined, you're very confident and obviously about selling it?
I think obsession with wanting to make it better, and maybe because there came a stage last year where I tried a few investments. Some of the investments didn't work. And then I actually switched niches for about a month. Yeah, like back to real, because things got, I thought, let me go back to real estate. You know, it must be easier there. Then I realized I was on holiday in Santorini. Beautiful scopes and beautiful food. And it's like, in life, it's not what you do, because there's challenges and there's a new level in every endeavor. So it's about how deep you go into it and how you frame things like temporary defeat and things like this. And so I think by actually tapping in and going deep, because my system was called the Sensei conversion system before, which is okay, but it's like, what's the Sensei conversion? Some people figured I was doing karate. It's like, you know, are you part of Taki Moore's program? Because Taki Moore's got the dojo. But I tapped, okay, the Sensei system. What does that involve? Well, I craft an offer. Create bingeable content. Okay. Warm DMs. Okay. Whiteboard. Every client gets on a whiteboard. And so I thought, everyone knows what a whiteboard is. Not Sensei could be, you know, misunderstood. Then all of a sudden, I started to hear, what's the whiteboard method, Jay? I'm curious about the whiteboard method. And there we have it.
I'm curious, actually, can you unpack, like, how does it work specifically?
The whiteboard works specifically by, it's a vision board. And so, say you have on a Zoom whiteboard, like number one, what target you want to get, and it's written down. There's a phrase that word is bond. So when something's written down, it becomes stronger, we can see it. They say that images are 60,000 times more, it registers 60,000 times more than like speeches and sort of sounds. So when there's an image, it connects more, which is why when you draw your diagrams on your flow diagrams, it's a similar thing. People see it more because it's visual. And so when people see what they can gain visually, it impacts more of the brain, because 80% of the information stored by the brain comes in visually. It's the visual part of things, so it connects more. And so, but here's the kicker. It's the pain that really gets people to take action. Oh, wow. I've lost out on 100K over the past year. Wow. oh wow, if I don't do this, my son might never get to see me because I'm at work all the time. So I need to get the systems from Ben and Jay Udeh. And so what it comes down to, when people see the cost of inaction or see the consequences, they see it. It's in their words. That's what makes the whiteboard method powerful, right? Because we could be on a sales call and things come back and forth, and you say, I thought you told me X, Y, and Z. But when we see it, it becomes more powerful. Is that making sense?
Yeah, and that also helps with fulfillment as well, right? Because they really understand how the offer works and everything like that. So that's really great. I'm really glad that this is in being able to be in the hands of more people, that, you know, your offer is not in obscurity. The right people are seeing it. What would you say to someone that would be considering working with us?
I say 155% to do it. To take the opportunity in terms of the systems. And what I'd say is you're flexible in your approach. So I said, actually, my prospects are used to this. It wasn't, no, you must follow this, but it's that flexibility that, yeah, try out something different, be creative, and things like this. But if someone wants to begin to expand their team, I think this is a very safe path to do that and to find something that works. I mean, look, I'm not absolutely perfect. Maybe I could have daily meetings in the mornings and end of day huddles. So I'm still figuring things out. But I think it's the element of having that responsibility, and being able to, like be in a seminar for 8 days. So 8 days, 8 hours today, and I had a quick meeting with my VA in the morning, and she carried out the work, and yeah.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. So your next masterclass for something that's really soon in the future, what dates? 5th of June, did you say?
I think it's the 29th. I'm not sure the date. 29th of May, I think, next week.
Okay.
Wednesday, yeah.
Okay, and you run them every month?
Every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks? Oh, okay, so plenty of things. So
yeah. Well, what's nice about the 2 weeks is that if it's every week, it might be a little bit, okay, another one. But every 2 weeks I found to be a good cadence. And its value as well. It's just like, you know, I've been in like 2 different masterminds over the last couple of days. Just to kind of connect with international people who are marketers. There's a certain magic when you create an experience for people.
Yeah. And so in the masterclass, I really want to get deeper into what value people would receive from coming. So what is that?
The value that people get from coming is they get implementation. So they get their complete sales system created for them.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's live and there's feedback. And what we do is we use the feedback of each other. So someone might put up what they've done and they've got maybe 10 pairs of eyes, 15 pairs of eyes, 8, depending on how many come on. But I think the power of the system, like the whole masterclass system, is that even if 10 out of 30 people come on, we still have 20 people to follow up with.
Okay.
So people have raised their hand saying, hey, Jay, I want to enjoy some of your long form content. That's what they're saying, right? Like, we're not talking about people who have indifference. We're not talking about people who have interest. We're talking about people who have intent. If you raise your hand for something like that, you have intent. Yeah, some sort of intent.
Yeah, and like really, sounds like it's for people that don't necessarily have a sales system that converts. They have issues in the sales calls. They're not converting at high levels there. Maybe their prospects aren't pre-sold. Are these kind of the main kind of inefficiencies and struggles they'd be solving on the masterclass?
100%. It's getting that offer to a place of joy. I know, for example, the people that I work with, they have offers that might not align with who they are, right? And so when I, like one client, I said, hey, look, your offer's about course creation. You're a diamond when it comes to reels. Hopped into reels, she did 14K in 15 days. Because once you have an offer that's aligned, no one can take that away from you. You know, and what I've learned from this whole process, work with the experts when it comes to lead generation. That's why, you know, I signed up with you, because I could try it myself, but it's the getting it right the first time around. Yeah.
That's powerful. Getting it right the first time. And do you feel like you've saved some time, saved some money, saved some energy?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Man, thank you so much for jumping on.
No worries.
It's been amazing to interview you.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah.
I definitely cherish our working relationship, and
Yeah.
I'm excited to be implementing the setters, increasing outreach specialists, just scaling this to the sky.
Amazing.
Once we get everything steady on the front end, back end offer comes into play. That's when things get exciting as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for jumping on.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
been
Cheers.
great.
Yeah.
Cool.